Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Tenax GC series. My name is Ancient Angel. Here with me is Zero Fight, and we're back. It's week 2 here in the Swiss stage, and it's EFJ, Eternal Jade, versus Aquila. And Zero, you saw one of these teams last week play, fight it out. We're now down 0-1. We've got to get things going. We've got to strive for our first win here in Tenax. Tell me a little bit about these teams and what we're going to be expecting here in this best of 3.
Yeah, it should be an exciting matchup. Like you said, we've got to see one of these teams already, Eternal Focus Jade. So they played last week up against Nightshade X Hyperspeed. They did lose that series 1-2. It was a pretty close bout outside of Icebox, that decider map. For Aquila, they haven't really been a team that we've gotten to see, at least in like the past Tenax series. So they're relatively new, also down 0-1. So taking that loss against Empire Redux. So both of these teams searching for that first win. And this is a Swiss stage, so going to be playing up against teams of that same record. With only 5 weeks in this entire series, honestly, they really need to start racking these up because with only 3 teams going through to those playoffs, you want a little bit of that extra breathing room between times. But we should be able to get into maps real quick as well, Ancient Angel, and we'd be headed to some familiar territory for both of these teams, with Haven being that first map. St. Lotus going out. We don't have to see it. Godforsaken Ascent. And Pearl as well, but
No, we get that nice little duo between Haven and Pearl with Icebox as a decider to come into things. I'm liking the way that this map pool kind of shakes out, right? We've seen, especially in the GC scene, a very big kind of revolution around just playing through Lotus and Haven. Like every series, you see both of those maps. And so I think the fact that we see that Lotus band coming in from Aquila, it provides us with a little bit of clarity almost, in that there's going to be a difference of playstyles, not only between map 1 and 2, but also on Icebox, because we know how differently that map plays if we get around to it. But of course, we have to draw our attention to where we start, which is Eternal Focus Jade's own pick of Haven.
Yeah, and last time they did end up winning this map. It was the one where they got a good start winning that pistol rounds. They run that Neon Standard comp. And for the other side of Aquila, talking about different play styles, they play something completely off the wall. I mean, it is something your ranked teammates couldn't even dream up. So we'll have to see how they decide to actually go this week, if they make any changes with that composition. But like you said, these 3-site maps, Haven in particular, it can lean a lot into the macro gameplay, but as well, I mean, these double duelist comps, these hyper aggressive play styles that a lot of these GT teams go with, it can lean pretty heavily towards that defensive side and swap it around how you might expect the result to go. But like you said, I also believe it's not shown here, but it will be Eternal Focus Jade starting off on that defense side, and it'll be Aquila going towards that attack. But we should be able to hop into Agent Select pretty quickly here. Do you have any predictions, though, as we get into this?
Well, I have one, but it's not necessarily about agents or what we're going to see particularly. Instead, it's going to be about the context of this entire series, right? When you talk to a Valorant coach, to players, they often view Haven as sort of a litmus test, a Rorschach, if you will, into the minds of teams and how they choose to play and the ways that they're the most comfortable playing. And so when we're talking about these two teams, you could see on one side, you're talking about that Neon, the typical Neon comp with the Cypher, and then on the other end, you said balls to the wall, you said craziness, a Phoenix Waylay Harbor comp.
It's out there.
We're here for a fun time, not a long time. I'll put it that way. Aquila, they're going after my own heart with this craziness.
No, truly. And honestly, I mean, starting off on the attack, we see Double Duelist have a lot of success. Isoyo Rusova is very differently, as well as not having to sit in the lab. I'm just going to put that out there. But I think can catch a lot of teams off guard. And if Aquila come out shooting, they definitely are not going to be out of this one yet. But starting off, defense pistol for EFJ here. It looks like it'll start as this aggressive push over towards Garage. A flash to set it up, and Meraki to receive this.
There's the initial swing. They push out. Meraki does have to back up, but it's Eternal Focus Jade. They're going really aggressive down towards mid, out of Garage as Pure tried to take a fight up towards Window. It didn't end up working out. So Eternal Focus, they need to reshift their gaze and start looking elsewhere as Aquila start to rush down A. There was a rogue waylay who found their own way over towards the back of this B site. Sweesk on this lurk is looking to try and get something done, but throwing sends volleys of bullets through that wall and takes out Pure. Meraki holding that flank does spot out at least one. Overdose now noted. Does mean that this retake, it's gonna get started a lot quicker as utility begins to clear out these positions. Short does get taken, contested over as Meraki doubles up, looks for a third and grabs it as well, and now it's just Hedge. And in a 1v5, in the post plant, when the spike ticks away and you're stuck in heaven, forget about it. It's a flawless way for Aquila to take the pistol.
Just full aggression from the defense side, but it's flipped on its head as soon as the round starts. And Sweesk, I think they were noted of and pulled a lot of those rotations, caught a lot of that attention. But ultimately, I mean, it was really off the back of Meraki making that play, getting that 3K, securing the round. So a full force up, just 0 with that hero Sheriff. Then once again, another fast play down long here. Hot hands to stall out, but Pure surely gets cleared, yeah.
Wow, and immediately you can see Sweeskin throwing. They're hungry, they smell blood over here towards long, and they do get a little bit of chip damage done, but no other follow-ups. So just the 5-on-3 advantage for now as we approach the mid-round. You know, Eternal Focus Jade, despite this, they still want to go peeking. Katie looking to try and recoup some of the losses, but there just won't be anything given by Aquila.
Cover going out.
Here this execute comes through. They're already out onto C. Throwing takes care of Katie, and Hedge next to fall means it's just 0. 1v5.
Spike planted.
You know, dare I say, you know, call me a doubter. But I feel like Aquila might have this round.
I think you might be onto something here. 0 just, what, 6 HP? I mean, you got the triple high-low. I mean, what are you going to do? Just die to bomb here, to be honest, as 3 ultimate pips towards that run it back for throwing. Those ultimates, getting those online, starting to cycle those early, will be an important win condition to try to garner as many rounds on the attack side here as possible. And once again, another flawless round 4 at attack side. So the money will be looking nice. They'll be in a good position to start off this map strong here. But EFJ, you know, they got time to bounce back. It's first rifle round on board here. Not too much, and this will really be where we start to see some of those ideas come out. They were really liking to go aggressive over towards C, not as heavily investing towards that A fight, excuse me, but this round it seems like they might opt into it a little bit more, so we'll have to see how that develops throughout this half.
It's one of the things that you talked about as well coming into this was the one map that EFJ did end up taking in their series last week, but you said they got that pistol round, you know, they were off to the hot start. So now we have to see what this map looks like for them when they're playing from behind, but Pure takes that first step forward perfectly and finds that opener onto throwing.
Aquila just going for pretty spread play to start this off, see if they can get anything individual. But with that waylay being, or the Phoenix, excuse me, being shut down, they have to pivot towards the C site, but there's some kill trips in the way and the spam as well from Edge.
Perfectly played, and there's Katie out from Garage, takes the timing perfectly, and the crossfire of doom is completed. Eternal Focus Jade, they said, we got flawless twice, let's take that deficit down to just 1 round.
And already we're seeing Hedge, those Cypher trips are coming in huge. You don't have those Sova shocks, excuse me, to really break those trips close towards that box. So You can place these trips, just play back sight, spam through, and have a field day. Especially when you're setting up a one-way like this. And so now, having rifles of their own, they'll be throwing, trying to once again fight towards this long area. Not as heavy a commitment by Pure towards short, but still here. Fault line is set up.
Yeah, it was just trying to catch a timing, and unfortunately that timing, it didn't work for Pure, but Katie was able to catch something out in mid. So that takes care of the Omen on the side of Aquila. Execute and the counter utility coming through all at the same time as Chaos erupts. Pure takes that first opener on to throwing. Once again, the Phoenix out of commission on the side of Aquila as it's another 3 versus 5, but this time back in the hands of EFJ.
And this is where it starts to get a little bit tricky. 50 seconds left, but with only having the breach as your initiator, you don't have a Cypher Cam either, so there's no info for this composition. You maybe can pop that light speed and then go into a refract. But other than that, you're really just left contacting through, trying to brute force your way onto some of these sites. So a harbor wall towards B, a cove as well in the middle of mid will cause a little bit of a distraction, but Zero on the A site by themselves gets taken down. The site is gained in the plant alongside it. And Meraki as well. So late here in mid.
Yeah, but I mean, surely with all the Cypher utility here and also just a hedge, that would be enough to at least allow for a little bit of time. But no, EFJ, they want to hunt for this. They get that kill, but it's taken a fair bit of time off the clock. So now it's got to be a rush to execute. A rushed retake as Hedge has already ran their way out CT. But there is Vi and Sweesk can combine as it's a crossfire and a 1v2 means that Sweesk has isolated fights. 1v1 as Katie slowly wraps the corner. It's a clutch. A 1 versus 4 from Sweesk to put Aquila's clutch third round on the board.
I don't want any
and Sweesk coming in huge with that 3K on site. Just holding it down. And I thought that was going to be a pretty flawless retake. Sure, the time was ticking down, but in numbers, they had the util. It just didn't matter at the end of the day, so leading by 2 rounds now. And the economy is a little bit fractured for the side of EFJ. I mean, you just have that one hero vandal for Katie and his sheriffs across the board. And once again, it's this similar start to Aquila's attack side. Really just going individual, trying to poke and prod on each of these lanes, see if they can get a pick on the individuals. But it's not being given. The defense is playing very passive, not wanting to go aggro until Pure takes a few shots on a Sava.
Yeah, Sava is now only at 3 HP. And Sweesk already uses the refract very early in this round, so a lot of the info that you were talking about from Aquila, it's gone.
But look at this,
No value gained.
This one cascade is pulling 2 rotates towards that A sites.
Yeah,
maybe even Pure, but I think the noise of them running away is going to just secure what this call is. But as I say that, they actually pivot back towards A.
No, it's a
miscommunication my cell phone loops.
There.
Yeah,
They
so
hear
Hedge
that,
now.
they hear the footsteps. Oh no!
30 seconds left.
Meraki takes care of Katie, and now that's just Hedge alone. And there's Meraki once again. Double entry to open up the site. Aquila gets to stick the plant. A 3 versus 5 retake. Especially with the weaponry not in your favor. This feels a little bit impossible. Throwing adds insult to injury. Just takes out Pure before this even gets started. And at this point, the 2 remaining initiators for the side of EFJ trying to do anything. Get 1 kill potentially onto throwing, but even she is out of there.
1 enemy remaining.
And now Overdose. I mean, honestly, could opt to save this. Maybe do some damage, but just the raw spam, you know, just casually going to take them down anyways for Meraki. So a 4th round on the board, a couple ultimates. And EFJ, I mean, I would be looking at a timeout potentially here, as I felt like they had the right idea there. They had the right call, but a little bit of indecisiveness in that mid round, and that was really what was costing them some of these defensive rounds. Just indecisive on those retakes, on those mid round rotations. But this time, opting to, rather than playing a passive play style, playing back, they're gonna go for a mid walk. And they'll hear this early.
I suggest you move.
Goodness, it's just a very fast hit into C, throwing doubles up. Once again, at the very least, there's overdose. You can respond for one, and the flank from Pure goes unchecked. And it's the one time it pays off. Pure doubles up, and it completely flips the arc, the odds of this post plant on its head. Spam goes through alongside the dueling aftershocks. Fault lines as well, spraying about. Taylor and Meraki both combined. They shut down the 3v2 and they complete their comeback. Meraki closes it up and Aquila's up 5-1.
So far, this has been a great showing from Aquila. Understanding their win conditions, sure, it's been a little chaotic, but they're leaning into that, and they're coming out on top over and over. The aim duels are going their way, and I mean, when Meraki is picking up 3K after 3K, getting these huge moments can be hard not to. So the timeout now called by EFJ. Coach Shampoo coming in, trying to get a few words with the team. Make sure they're on that same page, because the eco, it's a bit fractured here, so a few players can buy, a few players can't, but outside of this, they need to start getting something going for their defense side, because, I mean, they have an attack-favored comp, but, I mean, you don't want to go down, like, what, 9-3, potentially?
I mean, based on what we're seeing so far, I feel like even 9-3 might be a bit generous.
Yeah, it's harsh to say, but I gotta agree. I mean, we need to see a change, because it's just been domination, and when it hasn't been flawless, it feels like even though there's like two players surviving, EFJ just were not really in control of the round. They're giving it up. But outside of this timeout, it'll just be one forced rifle. The overdrive's still online for Pure. And so they go to take some of this early A control, pick up that orb as well, and it's just a silent walk. Not going too aggressive, but
Don't miss me too
Aquila are fine with this. They can once again just hit this C site. They've had success so many times over, no trouble at all. And so they speed up, invest that Rolling Thunder, and take the site.
Yeah. Oh, the opening peek from Katie. It doesn't go their way, and it means the trap wires are destroyed as well. Taylor's going to be able to stick that plant. Aquila in the player advantage. 5v4, sure. Edge is able to find one, but it has to be this double flank from Pure and Zero to find something, and that it does. Pure gets that kill onto Sava. More to come as a push into CT is going to happen from Aquila. 2 flash points out as Pure lurks their way through, but the spray from Vi is perfect. And now a 1v3 needed from Zero. Nothing but a sheriff to their name, as the flash is a perfectly sent curveball, and Aquila have got a 5-round lead.
They're unstoppable so far. And EFJ, even when they can pick up those 2 kills on flank, the kill on to Katie, just not able to convert it after that. So unfortunate. But this will be the round that the timeout was called for. The adjustment should be coming out here. And we do see it. A trap play off of this tripwire, I believe, to stun and then Neon slide through. But the A site is weak. And the C site will be taken once again.
Keep testing the C site, and at least Pure was there, able to trade 1 for 1, but there's still so much more that needs to be done if you're EFJ. You still have a retake to worry about. You do have a couple ultimates, but Meraki's also in garage, ready and waiting to strike.
These retakes have been so rough. The post plant's just so strong.
Post plant's about to be tested yet again. Meraki sits, waits and buys their time, trades out Sava 1-for-1, but can't double up. Instead, it's
enemy
Katie
remaining.
to do that exact job, and there's the beautiful flick from Hedge, and Zero can close things out. It means that EFJ, sure, it wasn't clean, it wasn't perfect, it wasn't flawless, but at least there's a little bit of hope.
And it gets the job done, right? They're able to flood back, or not flood back in, excuse me, but pop that Rolling Thunder and go in as a team. A lot of these retakes have been trying to retake a certain part of the map, maybe at Garage, even sometimes CT, and they're doing it with 1-2 players maybe, so they're waiting for everyone to be ready, sending the Rolling Thunder in, and going as a team. That's what that adjustment was, is just, if we're going to be making a decision, we need to do it together. We need to do it as a team, and it gets them the round win. Then an aggro push over towards the A site with 5 players from Aquila. It's going to really test this hold. There's already 3 rotators. Try to hold this site down.
Rotators coming through, trying to help, allow Pure to get a little active here. Reckoning already coming through. Zero able to go 1-for-1, but Sava is the one who doubles up. And it puts Aquila back into a position where they could possibly claim
Spike
the
planted.
half as theirs. Hedge needs to go huge. Sure, you find the first, but there's still 2 more to go before you could even think about calling this a round for EFJ. A flank still yet to come through. Utility about to pop out of Overdose's
enemy
hands.
remaining.
Katie's able to find the first, and now the script has been flipped yet again. Sava 1v2. We saw them double up to
remaining.
start this execute. Can they double up to finish? A 3K looking for a 4th, and they jiggle back and forth. Play the time. Overdose sticks, gets it to half, pops off at the perfect moment, and they get it. The 1v4 clutch is denied. EFJ, they put another round on the board.
The composure from Overdose to stick that to half, then understanding the timing perfectly, rips it away from Sava at the end. And a 3rd round gained, like you said, and an important one at that. It secures the economy for EFJ. Make sure they don't have to go back towards that 1900 loss bonus, that they can have another buy. But with this, it'll be an ultimate play down long onto Meraki.
You're straight out. Just sliding on down with that overdrive. Takes out Meraki. No silly harbor walls in this round number 10. We're going to have to save that for Pearl.
Will indeed. So with that, I mean, all this space over towards the C site, you have 4 players taking up the C.
Yeah.
And with that, I mean, you have kill trips set up, but Hedge isn't really in the position to capitalize off of it. The fast rotate
Spike planted.
with that from the shadows, but you're still going to have to wait for 2 players to come over and a blind shot through the smoke, takes down throwing. Now it's a 5v3 for this retake. You can take your time. You have that Hunter's Fury, you have the util, and now you have the players here.
Still need that aim though. Fault lines go out, but so do the counter ults. Katie's able to pick up 1, but as the Hunter's Fury barrels through, it clears out the space. It allows for at least a little bit of a stick here. Overdose looking to get things to half, and they do just that. Times don't even matter as Zero and Hedge mow everyone down, and EFJ, they're in a spot where we said 3-9 was generous. Now we're looking at 6-6.
And now it's starting to look a little dicey for Aquila, right? No Sentinel for their composition. You got that double duelist and you got the breach, but other than that, I mean, you're really looking to get as many rounds on this attack side as possible. So EFJ have done a great job to fight back into this. And now for the first time, the entire map, it's Aquila on the back foot, on an eco round. It's going to be an all-out brawl towards middle.
Yeah, that brawl's just beginning. A 3-person jump out of window. Zero and Pure look to farm, but Meraki has some kills of their own. Pure goes running through the wall and ends up getting taken out. Zero goes down along with them, but Overdose can clean things up. throw out those bullets. And Aquila
Last
bit off
round
more
in the
than they
half.
could chew. 5-6. It's just a 1-round game at the half.
And honestly, I don't know how many times I could say that I've truly witnessed a 9-player duel in mid off a barrier drop here on Haven. It's a little bit ridiculous, but it gets the job done. And like you said, only 1 round now separating these two teams.
That goes there.
4 in a row for
This
EFJ
is a nice spot.
outside of that timeout. And so Aquila, last round of the half, they have that Rolling Thunder online. So they just decide to go back to good old faithful.
Oh no, the curveball into garage. It takes out Hedge. All of that defensive utility on the C site. It's gone and useless. Taylor sticks that plant, and it's again the curse of the third site. It continues to haunt Aquila as they just keep pushing. Throwing and Sava each find one of their own. There is nothing that EFJ can do about it. 0 at 10 HP. Who even asked? Throwing got 4 kills to close out the half and bring Aquila that lead they so deserved.
A nice little touch and go in that garage area. And that's the 7th round. Aquila able to get a little bit back, but they're going to really want to get this pistol round here to start off their defense. As like I said, they don't have that Sentinel. Really leaning into the aggressiveness of the double duelist, as well as that Harbor. A pretty unconventional pick, something we haven't seen, I mean, since way back in 2023 with, what, Furia and Loud with that Harbor Viper comp.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see what ideas they bring into this to try to fight towards long, but EFJ deciding we can go for a little quick B pop. There's only Vi here to receive this, so has to back up and give this for the time being. No aftershock to delay either.
Saw to the shoulder, but the double swing just does one better.
Spike
EFJ
planted.
have potential here to get their attack side started out right, but there's Katie with a response onto Sava. Zero's all the way in defender spawn.
There's no way they
Meraki.
expect this.
I mean, Meraki's position's now known. You have Hedge, who sits
One
in the
enemy
corner,
remaining.
able to double up on their own, and now Swisk, a 1v3. You don't know where these players are. You have to dodge a stun. You still need to stick a defuse, but that won't even matter. Pure's just sliding away, and with that frenzy spraying you down,
Charge and shoot. Easy enough.
nice little pistol for EFJ.
Nice little pistol indeed. Cool play that I feel like a lot of teams have never really gone for. Not something you see all the time is the play to fight for C-Link rather than A-Link or just falling back. They had a perfect pinch into garage onto Sava. Just take that one nice and clean. So
I'm out of here.
only 1 round separating. You expect him to get this anti-eco as Aquila just full classics into this. You have that one curveball to set it up, but
Take this.
yeah, weapons, team stun. A lot of still
Self-stun.
being used there. Yeah, I'm not sure about that one, but
It can't all be perfect. We do have to give up the C site in return, so Zero does get to stick that plant down. It's now on track to be a 7-7 game, especially with that
Enemy
double
remains.
spray down from Hedge. Nice little flick to get a third as well. On for the ace, go get it. Nope, never mind. Rocky shuts it down, ruins all of our hopes and dreams. And Zero, cheeky little knife. We're baiting, we're having fun, we're jumping around. We get a 7th round.
We are strong because we are together.
thought it might happen
Don't
there.
forget that.
But Hedge with that 4K gets the neural theft, gets the rounds, and maybe not flawless in its fashion, but you'll take that.
Oh yeah.
And now really is going to come the test for this defense side. The pressure is on Aquila here to keep this game in their grasp, excuse me. Don't want to let it slip too far away. The buy up, throwing only 1 curveball into this, so that pressure towards middle, not feeling confident enough to stick around, and the weakness of this B site has been identified. No delay to try, and it's the pistol round all over again, Angel.
Sure is. It worked once when we had no guns, and now once again we're in a very similar spot. So let's go back to hitting this site. With Katie already gone, it does provide a unique challenge where now EFJ, sure, they can take the space, but can they hold it just the same? Zero gets that first pick. The rest of EFJ looks for more. At least the numbers are even for now. That's what they'd like to believe, especially now that Hedge and Overdose can each combine for 2. It's now a 2 versus 2. Nice little slide out from Pure. And Swisk in the back of the site, tucked in towards Gone. You still need to clear out Overdose. Pure gets to sit and wait, and there's the drive-by from Overdose. EFJ, for the first time in this map, has taken a lead.
Okay, my arms are good.
On the bonus rounds, mind you, off the same play that won them that pistol. So if it's not broke, don't fix it. And I think EFJ have identified potential win condition at B site. Like I said, there's not a lot of delay. You have the aftershock, that hot hands as well. But other than that, nothing to delay. You don't have that Cypher util as well. So it's a bit difficult to try to hold down these spots. You don't have that passive info. And so into this round number 16, an aggressive push down short, and Swix gets an opener, but Pure trades it back very quickly. And a 4v3 as the A side is gained here.
I know
Sheriff
exactly
shot,
where you are.
Mentioned if it ain't broke, don't
planted.
fix it. And unfortunately for the economy of Aquila, broke is all they are. Only Sheriffs in this round for the defensive side. Now in a 3 versus 4 retake. It's oh so rough. Flashes going every which way, trying to clear out a little of space, grant a line of sight onto some of these players. Nothing comes through. Fault line does go out. Stuns up, buys a little bit more time. Overdose sits in hell, waits and buys time. There's doubles from Hedge alike. EFJ. I mean, this is just consistent.
And outside of round number 12, since that timeout, they've gotten 8 rounds. Pretty much, I mean, not completely in a row, but, you know, 1 round gap
8 of the last 9.
And yeah, and that is impressive. The good turnaround to play as a team, fight together. Because Aquila, what was winning them a lot of those rounds to start off this map was going aggressive, was trying to take those individual moments. So for EFJ, if they have the numbers to trade out, they're going to come out on top more often than not. And just the speed from Pure brings them on top this round. And now, Aquila, on their next rifle rounds, are just scattering at the wins. Look at where Sava is, just so uncomfortable sitting towards C. You have no idea where any of these players are. The gaps in the defense, ginormous.
And that's what EFJ's been good at, right? Is exploiting those gaps in your line, in the space that you control. So they do all of that. They force Swisk off of this A site, allow Pure to B-hop right into hell for the cost of free 99. Overdose gets to stick. Zero tucks into own attacker smoke in CT, just waiting for a peek. There's the fault line, but the clear is good from throwing. Opens up this retake onto Zero. Pure, though, quick response at a perfect time. Allows for a 3K to come through. Just 2 more to do, and there's Pure for 4. Double digits. Who would have thought in the second half, the first team to find double digits is EFJ?
Would not have been me. We were talking at one point about this being 3-9 at the half, potentially even worse. But Aquila just have not been able to stabilize themselves, just off balance for 10 rounds in a row, and they need to fix something because it's just not working, and time's running out here.
This is like the 9-3 curse, but like we manifested a 9-3 curse.
We manifested the 9-3 curse.
9-3. Yeah. Instead, Aquila, only Sheriffs to work with once again. Headshot machines need to be live and firing on all cylinders. All 6 you have in the chamber. Taylor's taking a fair bit of space, and Meraki as well, sitting at a nice, pretty angle. Taylor does get cleared, looking for a potential refrag. Is Meraki does swing out, able to go 1-for-1, and Sweet as well can combine for that, but it still leaves the numbers only ever slightly in favor of EFJ.
And none of those rifles were picked up.
No. So
Just that Bucky and the Sheriff.
I mean, the Sheriff would do great
Spike
work, especially
planted.
because there is still one player lurking around, going through mid. Sava holds, takes their timing, peeks and unpeaks.
One
but
enemy
Hedge
remaining.
just needles their way through. Gets that kill onto Sava, and now 1v3.
And ain't no one peeking this. No one there's a Bucky. Oh, okay. Never mind. I'm just not gonna talk. As soon as I say that, Hedge with the 4K.
What's
Through
a
the
Bucky
wall.
gonna do to a wall? You know?
You know? Aim into that. Pretty much nothing, unless maybe you're Dombey and you can just essentially just use the Bucky
I think-
like it's.
I think that
Like it's
Riot
rifle?
should make the Bucky have high wall penetration, so it's like an Odin, but scatter shot.
Oh, I think you are cooking. Maybe.
Yep.
Maybe burning the food, but you're cooking.
No, surely not. It's a nice medium rare.
Oh, I see.
As we approach
Coming into this
round
one.
number 19, as we approach throwing and Taylor, they make that gambit out towards mid. Aquila on the back foot at this point. They need
Oh
huge
my
plays, and that
God.
kill through that wall. It puts throwing from a great position to a perfect one. 5 versus 2, with EFJ only 100 seconds, actually 70 seconds. That's a 1 minute, not 100.
Quick maths right there.
Yep.
Yeah, but
Something like that.
it's the first, advantage that Aquila have really had in this second half. After 6 unanswered, they're left into a 5v2, and they know that this is their round to get on the board, to secure. You can look at their positioning, just not wanting to give up a lot of these duels. They got this advantage off of going aggressive towards that B site. Something not all that often you typically look over towards C or A. So Vi now just holding pixel angle onto
enemy
Pier, the
remaining.
spray down,
Spike down B.
and now it's all left to
30
Katie.
seconds left.
Yeah, listen, Katie is a phenomenal player. We've all seen what they can do. A 1v5 might be a bit egregious. Call it a
Yeah.
hunch.
I think you might be onto something this time, but with 15 seconds, just gonna save. Even
10
though,
seconds left.
8,700 credits. You look across the board, Aquila. Pretty much nothing. So
Quick.
maybe
There's
like
only
to
2
see them
seconds left in
go.
the round, everyone. We need to peak one by one.
Yes, please. And so the 8th round, first time this half, and I'm not gonna say anything,
Oh,
but we got some big ultimates here. And EFJ, they got some big ultimates of their own, that Overdrive and the Hunter's Fury, to try to take these sites. And I wouldn't be mad if they just went back to just hitting that A site. It was working well for them.
yeah, it's interesting. It's almost, I guess, a little complicated as to why this A site is so chosen when there's no Sentinel versus the C site with, but I suppose it all has to do with the second half of the round. So
Whoa.
Pure does do a little bit just to get the space taken over towards long. Short lurk will be coming through, but Hedge! What was that? Nice little double up there.
Spike planted.
Post plant comes through, and remember, if EFJ win this, it puts them on match point.
They have to get this. They have to invest what they can. Harbor Ult still in the back pocket.
Go. Hedge peeks out, but Meraki able to get that opener. Looking for more, but unfortunately for Aquila, Katie takes care of one. Now with Sava and Taylor
Last player
leading to
standing.
2 versus 4 their way to a victory, it's just not gonna happen. Pure takes the fight to them, blows their heads off their
Match
bodies.
point.
We sit 12-8.
And EFJ is showing exactly why they like to go towards that A site. Once you get that spike down, it can be so tough to retake, especially when you have to invest so little to actually get onto site. You still have your Aftershock. You have your fault line that comes back online. Paranoia as well. So much util to dump towards that one single choke point, and it's too much for Aquila to deal with. So 4 chances
Nice and slow
to bring
now.
this one back. But EFJ are just trying to run it back, go towards that A site, and Sava able to get the opener.
Yeah, and that's huge because now that all that beautiful information is gone, especially with Hedge out of the picture as well, puts EFJ in that awkward position that Aquila was in earlier, where you don't have the info. It's hard to clear out corners safely. Sure, they have the ready. But there's the immediate swing. Katie takes care of throwing, looking for more in this post plant. They double up, but Sava looking for 3 of their own. It doesn't matter. Overdose with a double at the very end. Closes things out, and EFJ are back to winning on Haven.
13-8 last series, 13-8 this time against Aquila. Taking their map pick. And it is domination after a pretty shaky start, if we're being honest. I mean, going down, I believe, what was it? 6-1, 7-1, something like that, calling that timeout. And since then, it was just great to see. Together on the play, on the retakes, just doing what worked, what they knew their game plan should be. And if that continues into map number 2, it's a scary scene for Aquila because, I mean, we're going to Pearl, and we haven't seen either of these teams here. So really, we could be seeing anything come out.
I mean, you say that, but also, we talk about Haven, we talk about the fundamentals, we talk about a litmus test. And what I saw from Aquila was a team that is ready to fight.
Yeah.
And when you think about Pearl, and you think about some of the crazy, fast, flicky, brawly fights that happen on that map, it puts you in a pretty exciting spot. So like you mentioned, we have to wait and see. But in order to do that, we've got to go to a quick break. So don't go anywhere because we've got map 2 of Pearl right around the corner. You're not going to want to miss it. Welcome back to the Tenax Series GC Swiss stage. My name is Ancient Angel. Here with me is Zero Fight. And Zero, we have a very interesting series on our hands. For those of you who are just joining us, we are down in the 0-1 section, as in both of these teams still yet to find their first win here in week 2 of Tenax Series Swiss stage. It's Eternal Focus Jade versus Aquila, and we are heading in to Pearl as map number 2. Zero, how about you catch us back up to speed on what Haven looked like?
So we just got out of Haven. That was EFJ's map pick. Started off on that defense side. It was a bit shaky there to begin, but after a timeout and just a recollection of their thoughts, they came back and it was a 13-8 finish. Pretty dominant for that second half of the map. And now we're headed into Pearl. So a little bit of a different look. We were talking about it a little bit before we sent to break. Very brawly, very leaning into Aquila's play style. And they will be starting, I believe, on that defense side. So we get to see how they approach that. But coming into map of Pearl, I feel like we saw that, pretty off-the-wall composition on Haven from Aquila. I think we'll probably see something similar over towards Pearl. And I think here is a map where it would find a lot more success. Like you were saying, you can go for a lot more of those duels, especially over towards B long, fight for early control over towards A. You have a lot more freedom to do that, especially, for no reason other than you have 2 sites instead of 3. So that just instantly is going to help you so much, especially on this defense side where they were really, that's where they found a lot of their struggles. So we need to see an adjustment here, and we'll have to see it pretty soon coming out of the gates.
Oh, yeah. And, you talk about Pearl and the way that we like to play this map and the way that the meta's developed. I think when we get into Agent Select, that will really show us, do these teams take a very on-meta approach to this map, or are we going to see, like what Aquila did on Pearl, or is it going to be the opposite, right? Is Aquila going to be running the more meta because that's what they're confident in, that's why they picked into this map, and then EFJ runs something off the walls? I'm excited to hop into Agent Select here and figure all this out.
Yeah, and I think after those Tejo nerfs, meta pretty wide open for anyone to kind of make a statement, even if it's not necessarily what eventually will become that highest echelon of compositional, like in the tier list. I think there's a lot of ways that these teams can go, and especially here on Pearl, we'll have to see it as we hop into that Agent Selective fly through of beautiful underwater Pearl.
Yep.
And coming into this,
wouldn't it be a swim through?
I guess it would be. Well, there's a dome. Are they like all underwater, I guess would be the question, or is like the dome like it protects them, right? A little bit.
You know what? We're seeing a sky
From Vi as well. So solo sky rather than that solo breach. No waylay to bout. And I honestly, I don't mind this comp. The solo sky, you don't have a whole lot of info compared to the fade on the side of EFJ. And so with that, maybe some operators, some judges really going to come into play and cause some troubles. But other than that, sticking with that harbor, sticking with that double controller look, and EFJ, a little bit more of a standard approach, I would say.
Yeah, I think for EFJ, the big question mark, so to speak, is going to be what this kind of double initiator front looks like. I think that the Fade KO is really strong on this map, but, to EFJ's credit, they love the double initiator. They love playing the info game and playing things slow and trying to grind out the right site. So, that style versus Aquila, loving to just hammer things home and brawl it out. It's going to be a fun map number 2 as the pistol round is underway, and it's an arc split. It immediately comes through, pressure being given every which way. Thorns going out, forces Meraki into a precarious position. Ooh, nice little Trailblazer there allows
team
for
flash.
the guiding light to get popped, but you're right. The team flash comes through and it disadvantage goes every which way. Meraki and Sava though still able to pick up the opening 2, and with Meraki finding another as well, it puts Pure in a rough spot. Meraki on for 4, looking for it. Hedge can take care of the Vise on the other side, but it's a 1v3 still needed. Nice little flash to come through from the Arcos, trying to buy a little bit more, and all of those bullets just framing a portrait around Meraki as they claim the 4K of their own. Aquila, this is another pistol that goes their way.
And Meraki just looking like the pistol merchant out here, picking up the 3K on that first pistol of Haven here with that 4. And a good start as Aquila really shut down that art split, delaying and denying any advantage even onto the site. They really just didn't even get past main, past that initial choke point. And that's off the back of that Sky, having those informational flashes as well as the neon to have those quick rotates. And so into this, it's a natural pivot into Link. No, force buy back.
They smelled blood in the water. They wanted to go for it. Meraki next up to bat here over towards Art, looking to make magic happen, but that doesn't work. Pure collects the first frag. Meraki's gone. Sava will be the next one tested as they're stuck in towards pit. Plant still needs to come through. Zero does get to stick. There's that gravity well to come through, but it doesn't stop the plant. Zero tucked in the corner, looking to spray away. In the corner is Pure. Sits and waits. 2 players targeted up, as well as another 2 in Art. The hold is good. Pure uses that gate crash to get right on out of there. Gravity well of their own right. Tries to delay the defuse for a little bit longer. Swisk takes the first, and there's still more to do. Sava looking to stick. There's a spray through the smoke. It doesn't matter. It's been halved. Now, a 1v2. Overdose stuck. Tries to swing in. It doesn't work. And Aquila, they've collected it, but oh boy, it was close.
We defend this reality.
Close and costly. And EFJ doing their best, but Aquila come out on top there. Secure the second round and secure those 2 guns to bring over into this round number 3. And that was off, I mean, really off of just that initial play into Link, catching Meraki off guard, making the best of that interesting position. So now we'll have this same start, right? Throw this Arc Rose towards A main, make sure there's no early aggression. The Swisk on this bonus round, making their way to aggro towards shops, the knife thrown out, but mid control is gained. The attackers, they aren't comfortable in their positioning. They're so weary.
Sava, fortunately, is not able to claim the fight. Does take care of the Prowler, though.
Yeah, feeling a little bit of pressure over towards A, so we'll opt to make this rotate through, but Squeaks.
Yeah, no, Squeaks gets spotted. A great Prowler. It does deny any sort of a cutoff on the rotate, but look, 3 players all looked up here. Hedge able to take care of Swisk. There will be more. That is until they eventually all decided to back away. Throwing. Oh, this could be an interesting little play here. That's the Nebula to go down. Throwing tucked in this corner, looking to try and take a great timing. There's the stun, looking for a swing off of it, but Overdose looks and claims 2 of their own first. With Zero getting to plant that spike. 5 versus 2 now in the post plant. Aquila, just a couple of dinky sheriffs.
You even have Pure rapping all the way around the world.
Oh yeah. Ooh, okay, hold on. A couple missed shots. They could be buying time, but instead, they just wanted to give the kills to someone else. As Katie able to pick up one on that Vandal, and it was the Guardian from Zero to claim one as well. Eternal Focus, a flawless anti-bonus, they would call it.
Yeah,
As we approach round 4.
With that as well, it was pretty clean. So, like you
Now
said,
we wait.
flawless. Meraki one away
Retrieving wall.
from that reckoning. On the other side, Overdose with that plant will only be one away from that null command. So, potentially waiting out, seeing if there's any aggro plays over towards this A site. And I like this start, making sure to not just pressure over towards A or over towards B, but they're doing both. They send out that temp smoke, get Pure set up in a position, and you still have that teleport all the way in attacker spawn. So you can throw out this clone, try to bait out that Vice wall, and then you can group back up with your team, get set up for this execute. So that null command was picked up.
I mean, the concern is, right, is that there is no Vice Wall there, right? The shear is over towards A, and that's where Eternal Focus are kind of forcing all of their utility, but because of the null command, it completely negates the Vise setup. So as Overdose goes searching and prying this area open over towards Link, Meraki's forced away. Sure, position given up, but it's a full 5 versus 5 on the retake, and there's no ultimates in play. It has to be pure utility and pure clearing. Two players located in Art, the first being Zero, the second of Hedge, but they're able to trade 2 for 1. Aquila now don't have the numbers, don't have the time. You need to get the kills, dig yourself out in the 2v2, but you never checked for Pure. Sure, the shots are a little risky, but they get you into that 1v1. Sava with 8 bullets on the Vandal. Katie with 25. It's all about the jiggle. It's all about the time. Looking for more, but it's the headshot from Katie to be good and tie things up at 2 apiece.
My people, are you ready? You must cultivate a sense of
The Astra coming in clutch to close that one now, and a vital round for EFJ to continue to get this map off to a different start. I mean, Haven, they got that round number 3, but after that, it was just going down, but 6-1, so already starting off a little bit better. After Aquila, they'll be forced back onto a low buy here. Temp Smoke masking that guiding light for the time being, and spray down will take Vi's head off. So space has to be given up. ZFJ prod towards Art. They have been so good on working this map, even though it's not even their map pick. Their macro on this attack side has looked clean thus far.
Oh yeah, once they had the rifles in their hands, it looked like everything just clicked. And you can see they're afraid to trigger the shear. They don't know what's on the other side, but they're gonna have to go. 2 players, both cross. Only 2 players remain. Overdose still stuck in here, able to take care of Meraki. Sava over towards Secret, looks for a kill of any kind, but unfortunately the flick just won't be there. Pure gets that kill. 5 versus 2 now. Throwing? I mean, it's a nice attempt, but you're gonna get caught out by Katie, and now it's just Sweesk. Poor little Sweesk. Good damage, but still so much more to do, and not enough bullets to do it. Pure takes care of ya. 3 versus 2. EFJ getting into the swing of things here.
They are, and the ultimates are coming online for both teams, to be honest with you, but the money for EFJ as well starting to get up there. So we'll probably see them invest a lot of these ults, try to convert this and break the economy of Aquila. We don't typically talk about really snowballing on Pearl here, but if you can get these rounds, farm these orbs effectively, try to min-max those ultimates as best as possible, it really can be tricky for this defense side to hold, especially when you have a dimensional drift from Pure to clear out all of this site.
I'm back.
Astral Divide as well.
Yeah. Cosmic Divide goes out. Spike to be planted. all that utility, all that space given over. EFJ, sure, you lose the opening engagement, but with all the space, with all the time, things are looking good. Overdose the first to fall on this post plant, though. It could spell disaster. Katie takes care of Meraki, but with Zero falling behind the clone and the spike getting tapped away, this gets a little bit dangerous here, a bit dicey. Sava starts to stick, able to get it to half, and Sweesks 4K and long is what locks things in, and Aquila, they show they're not going down without a fight.
Blinding.
A fight to give, a tied up game, and a great retake to come out. And that Steel Garden really is what allowed them to get back into that, shutting down, I believe it was Overdose over towards back halls, so forced everyone else back towards long, and the smoke goes up, and it's just too much to deal with since that ping nerf came in so long ago. So both teams around the same economy, knife since out to hit anyone over towards mid, and that'll shut down those Seekers. But Meraki, once again, with another first blood towards middle, just getting away with daylight robbery. And this time, it's not hedge, it's pure. That's your duelist down.
Someone who is making such a big impact here in the server, but Zero and Overdose still combining, still able to keep things clean and even up the numbers now as a 3-on-3 and commences. But Katie wins the duel of controllers. Meraki's gone and off the board. 3 versus 2 now, as EFJ, they have quite a bit of room to play with, especially if you can take care of Sava, but unfortunately, it's Hedge to be taken better of. And now 2-on-2. Overdose and Katie trying to catch off Sava, and Katie does just that, and now throwing 1 versus 2. They run out. Is Overdose aware? No, they aren't. Katie now 1v1 versus the Astra on the other side. Dinkso galore, and it's throwing to do it. Oh, it's been close, but Aquila are back to a lead.
Getting it done. The last moment, and squeaking through. And so 2 rounds in a row now for Aquila. And once again, it's really opened up by these individuals. Meraki on this harbor. Got the 4K in the pistol round to get them that initial start, but has come out with 2 huge first bloods over towards middle, really playing aggressively, not something we always see towards the harbor. And so the adjustment from EFJ comes out to just try to go aggressive and as a team, but Sava shuts down Hedge once again. A 5v4 for the defenders right off rip.
Got 5v4, but at least the Milkman has confirmed the plant.
Take hold.
A player named Katie working out towards mid does catch out Meraki. It does serve a huge opportunity now. Seekers go through, they try and find a little something here to engage this retake, but it's only 1-for-1 trades. Zero able to keep the numbers manageable. 3-on-3 now. Katie takes care of Sava, and that's the huge pick. Sure, it's one more 1-for-1 trade, but as Katie gets to buy even more time out over towards Art, it leaves Pure in a perfect position to just be able to stall. Takes all the time off the board. The kills don't matter because the clock had you dead to rights.
It's back and forth here on map number 2 of Pearl. As neither team wants to give them the lead. The layers so far from the attack of EFJ have just been so wonderful. Katie coming back through middle, picking up that initial kill, and then just staying alive to have that suck on the spike, as well as just having that pressure there. So a little bit of a swap in the setup, as it's a full pistol eco for Aquila. Gets spotted out by that haunt.
Face your fear!
Even investing the Nightfall and the overdrive to respond.
Oh, goodness.
Spike down,
it's just
B.
a bloodbath. They have sheriffs and they're still going 2 for 2. There's now 3
This
players alive on each side.
There.
Look at the HP of Meraki and Sava. It's 8 and what, 10 maybe? A slight breeze would knock them down.
Now they're the only 2
Spike
left on the board.
planted.
Sure, Meraki, there is a Phantom available. You could potentially argue that gives them a fighting chance, but with only a rabbit's breath away from death, any errant bullet to the leg could do them in. Zero has to tuck and hide. You don't want to give any more guns to them. You don't want to give them any opportunity. Sava continues to pepper shots away.
One enemy remaining.
There's the high tide coming through, and it's a 1-for-1 trade, but as Meraki walks out, looks to try and take a timing, it's Pure to do so instead. EFJ keeping things competitive, but still back to a 1-round lead.
So now coming into round 10, only a few rounds left in this half as EFJ have that Cosmic Divide, have the Steel Garden, one away from Pure's ultimate. And Aquila, they were finding a lot of success going aggressive, specifically towards that middle, but EFJ have kind of figured that out. They're avoiding it completely or going as a team and making sure to clear that out together. So once again, a spread setup, no real aggression as a unit from the defense side, playing very passive here. Ultimate's gained 0 with the swing, and now that Cosmic Divide that was once that tool for the retake is shut down.
Here.
And the rifle rounds, it's just falling to pieces here.
And with
Spike
Katie
planted.
finding that
Last
kill onto
player
Taylor,
standing.
that could just be it. A 3K out from the controller, the Astra player on EFJ. They do such a good job at containing any sort of potential flank that could possibly get started. It's all done. It's all out of commission here, and now with Swiss trying to do it all, it buys enough time for Katie to wrap around and get a 4K of their own. A Cosmic Divide used in this round. Round number 10 could be up on the board at round 12.
And if you're Katie, you just have the easiest job in the world. You just sit and spawn, and you just shoot people who's coming at you, right? Coming up through shops, getting 2 frags as well as 1 pushing up in
Flash placed.
over towards that top mid. So
Yeah.
we really haven't. I don't really know what to call out for the top middle is. I just, I'm just going with it. So EFJ, coming in to round number 11 here. They have the rifles. They used all their ults last time, but
Time to jump.
every time they seem to exec towards this A site as a squadron, they're coming out on top here. But 4 players rotated here already.
The Odin in the hand of Zero might spell a little bit of fear as Pure and Meraki still send out bullets with even more that needs to be done.
Spike planted.
HP dropping, so are bodies. Meraki takes care of Zero, and there's another one. Overdose gone. Now 2v3. Looking for more.
One enemy
Swiss
remaining.
goes pushing, searching around. Pure now 1 versus 3. Found the first. Looks for more, but the high-low is perfectly done. Aquila, they're not giving up. It's a scrappy dogfight here on Pearl as we are approaching what could be 6-6.
Last round.
Picking
before
up the
switch.
Thrifty. It's off the back of that Flood retake, not letting EFJ get comfortable in their post-plant setup. Every time they get that spike down, and then they have those layers, especially with that mid rewrap. But this time, Aquila on top of it, being decisive in their decision-making, and coming out with the round victory. So now, last round in the half, still that Cosmic Divide online. And EFJ
Time to jump.
decide to go back to this default. Temp smoked across, gain a little bit of map pressure and presence over towards long. Be able to pick up this orb towards A, get this, and now, if you're the attackers here, you pretty much have every spot outside of the sites themselves. So you have all the tools to work with, and Aquila Gonna be looking to try to get some info with this dog here, but I don't think it spots either player.
Nope. It goes completely unnoticed. And that's, kind of tragic because look at what happens over towards Art. They leave it open. Hedge can go exploring if they would like. If they want to meet up with their teammates and split this A site appropriately, they're going to do just that. Zero joining the Sentinel over here towards A.
You are divided.
There's that Cosmic Divide coming through onto the site. Art now about to be taken. Sure.
I think it's the B
30
side.
seconds left.
No, they do. They think it's B based on the way that they angled it. But now that the shots are coming through on A, it has to be communicated over. What a well-placed wall. It keeps rotations in place. It doesn't give away the play, but now you have to not give away bodies because Hedge has already fallen. You don't have the numbers here in the post. 5v5, Null Command has come out, tries to delay this retake for just a little bit longer. All this utility. Cosmic Divide, it's looking to buy time. Zero found Taylor. Communicating things across. There's this swing out of the Cosmic Divide though, and Katie, a huge 3K. All running out of that Astra wall.
Still
It's
waiting.
perfect,
Switching
and it
sides.
gives EFJ the lead at the half.
Make their fear your weapon.
Held on to it for so long there. With throwing, just not able to get enough value out of it near the end. So EFJ, like you said, the 2-round lead, swapping the narrative up from Haven and swapping over towards that defensive side. This is a more traditional of a setup. You have that Vice over towards B to really delay. And with this, I mean, notably, the duelist difference, that Yoru versus the Neon. The Neon gets hard countered by the Vise versus the Yoru. That kind of hard counters the Vise. You can teleport past that setup, all those thorns as well, but Neon's going to have to run straight through them.
Oh. You're already opening up. A double opener at that. There's
Spike
Katie
down,
just to
mid.
keep the momentum going for the team. Drops the attacker's spike. They're going to have to go and try and retrieve that now with only 80 seconds to work with. It's crazy. All that happened in 20 seconds the round.
I was off on a
Still more to
tangent.
do.
I have the spike.
Yeah.
And so much happened, so much
Flashing.
bodies hitting the floor. And now in a 2v3, Sava trying to pick up the pieces alongside throwing. So Katie here, not sure where to keep that
The Sava
crosshair.
right click is crazy. Oh, never mind. Not even needed. Instead, it's just throwing. With the aimbot straight onto Katie's head. A tap just to bait out a peek, but unfortunately for the side of Aquila, no peeks given just yet. Instead, utility goes out, and ooh, those are a little bit of messy shots there. It's now the vines go down. Retake looking to start. Baiting out the gravity well, as well
One
as
enemy
the
remaining.
Nova Pulse, but there's still more to do. You still need to land the shots, and throwing does just that. So no Sava shots even necessary. Sava doesn't even get to click their gun in this round. Instead, it's throwing doing all the heavy lifting.
What a shame. Would have loved to see that busted right click, but you know, they'll take that pistol rounds. Currently sat 3 out of 4 in this series so far, so really getting a lot of their momentum off of that. They'll take this, especially investing once again full from both sides, so throwing has a Spectre, a little bit of extra credits in that back pocket, but just wanting to secure this round. And EFJ go aggressive towards A, try to secure that A lobby area, get that ultimate orb online. But with that, the B site's given up. This will be a tricky retake when you just have pistols.
But we know EFJ. We know that they look to
Spike
make things
planted.
tricky.
Indeed. They need this round to really stabilize, tie this back up, and get this map, because, like we said, the first map going the way of EFJ, they need this map to stay in the series. Make sure they don't go down 0-2 in the standings.
Yep. And Aquila, You know, even if EFJ, they don't win this round, you know that they're going to try and make it difficult. You want to keep that momentum your way. You want to try and stabilize here, but Taylor just tapping away. Nice little 3K there, and Pure, unfortunately, no kills at all. It's DE aimbots for Aquila as they tie us up 7-7.
So, once again, a flawless anti-eco round. Will be able to convert all those rifles. Well, you know, half rifles, some SMGs, but pretty clean round, and that's what you want to start to see. Already 2 away from those Seekers, and Aquila on this attack side, you don't have as many of those informational tools, right? You only have that one Sky with those restricted 2 flashes, not going to be on that recharge timer. So they need to make them count. They need to play together, make those execs count as a team. And it looks like these 4-1 towards this A site will be the decision.
Okay, utility going out and about. They're able to find the opener onto throwing, so a lot of that post-plant utility is now unavailable for the side of Aquila. Do pick up a couple weapon upgrades, and that's going to be a key feature of the latter portion of this round. They are. They're going through defender's spawn, but Hedge is here. Catches one off guard, but unfortunately, any more than that would just be heresy. 3-on-3 now. Spike still yet to be planted, and look at this time.
EFJ's lost.
Yep. No, you can look at Pure. Has the potential to timing them here. Let's try and spam through and catches Taylor at the perfect moment. Oh my goodness. No spike plant just yet. 30 seconds remain, and it's dropped out in the open. They're holding. They're waiting. Spike finally retrieves, but it has to be a commit onto B. High tide goes through. Waiting for a potential flash.
Here.
They plant in the cove, so you know it's going to be safe for Aquila, but now these positions need to be tested. They need to be hunkered down for the side of Aquila, because EFJ are hungry for this. Teleport into the corner from Pure. Looks and waits. Meraki's going to swing around. Isn't checked by Zero. Looking for another, but doesn't work. Now Overdose starts to stick. Position noted by Sava. Now 1v2, and the double swing is good. They lock it in, and Eternal Focus, it gets a little dicey there, right? It gets really, really close, all things considered, but they're able to bring it across.
And the unexpected pivot through spawn from Aquila really just threw them for a loop. Testing those brain cells, honestly, but once again, the effort on the retake, it's together. They make sure to weigh out the Harbor High Tide, not swing out individual, and they just fight as a team, and it works out. So expected result for the anti-bonus, but now this is going to be the real test of this defensive side. The High Tide to commit, gain some of that early mid control, denying those lines of vision. But over towards B, it's a lot of noise being made. Spikes here as well. No rotates being brought over quite yet. The shear will be popped. Thorns as well. So all of that delay util that you once had for Hedge, it's now gone. It's only 30 seconds into the round, and Meraki.
It's cleared surely, but it doesn't matter. Meraki still wins the gunfight. And with Sava taking out Pure as well, EF, they're in a really tough spot. Katie can't find that kill either, and Meraki, the attacker with full control of the middle of the map, means that Hedge, this is an impossible situation. Even getting one felt like a tough task. And the 1v4, regardless of the position of HP, I mean, surely you just argue that it's tied up 8-all.
You have to, especially, I mean, you got the HP as well as the positioning. 2 players towards long. 2 players just straight up sitting all the way near double doors. So Zero, maybe try to get a little bit of damage done, but other than that, it's just consolation prizes. Not even able to do that. So throwing cleans it up. And once again tied 8-8. And this is much closer than Haven, I would argue. It was really the battle of who could streak the most rounds in a row on Haven, but this has been quite the opposite. It's been very back and forth, especially in these early rounds, just taking massive duels over towards middle. And it's really Meraki on this harbor being the catalyst for a lot of those, using these high tides, the smokes, to enable and cause those question marks for EFJ, making them want to go for those reclears, and then just the aim coming out on top. So the timeout called here is a big pivot rounds, the eco for EFJ.
Yeah, and it's something that, I wanted to mention. Speaking of EFJ and timeouts, the last time they took a timeout, they ended up going on like an 8-round win streak.
8 out of 9, yeah.
So, if they win 5 in a row here,
I think Coach Shampoo might need to get that MVP award, is what I'm hearing.
I'm not saying they're going to win 5 in a row, because I think that's incredibly unlikely. Especially considering they're on an eco, and only 2 of them are really going to have enough money to buy. Maybe you could argue Overdose can sneak away with, like, a Sheriff if they're really feeling it. If they're really feeling it, I could see a Spectre. But no, instead they opt to save the money.
But
Go
with
for a
that
potential power play.
Yeah, it's still good. Simple ideas. Take early A main control, fight for that. So then, oh my god, the 145 onto Swiss. Healed right back up, but the Cosmic Divide's invested, so that'll all rotates over. And this could get dicey really quick, Ancient Angel, if they're not careful. There's only 3 players towards here on the B site.
Could get dicey. You gotta roll with the odds here. Taylor sticks that plant, and it's a full 5-on-5. At this point, it has to be the rush. Zero goes in off the back of the flashpoint, but Vi is there, cleans things up. Right clicks don't work as Swiss takes care of them all. And now it's that 2 versus 5. Sava sends out the Archros at the perfect timing, but Hedge gets caught out, and Katie, any more than one would be perfect, but unfortunately, you only find the first. And that means that Aquila do away with eco rounds and grab a lead back in their hands.
And EFJ so far, honestly, on this defense side and on the attack side, I like their approach to taking map control. They seem to have a good understanding of the fundamentals of Pearl. They push and pull over towards A, get that control, and then you can stick someone up there and have those other players rotate. This round, it's going to be an operator picked up for Pure, something I was really making note of. Do they connect the shot?
Oh,
no, not even getting one off.
I'm out of here.
The
pressure's
timing
too
is-
much.
It's just so tragic. In such a good position. So close with that op. Just a very quick flick and get out. You do so much damage, but without it, ruins your setup. It's hard to take back that space.
And
On
yeah,
the A side of the map, there's one lone
I've got your
player,
trail.
and they're already backing up all the way towards Flowers.
gonna be playing for this retake. But Angel,
At best, it's a
the dimensional
5-5.
drift. Yeah, they do have some big ults to clear out the site with that Yo roll, the Astral as well to layer on top. But still, a lot to do.
A lot to do and not a lot of time to do it. Trying to hold, but they don't check for that flank through Art. Meraki doubles up. And I fear, Zero, that might be it for round number 18. Katie can get one, but needing one more just to tie things up. It doesn't happen. Sava takes care of Katie. 2 versus 4.
It just needs to be a save at this point. Time's
Just
low,
keep
you
that
don't have
off.
the numbers. Yeah,
It's a good one onto Swiss. But like you said, it's just a save. It's going to be double digits granted over to the side of Aquila.
one more shot ringing through onto Saba, so some damage done, but the economy for Aquila is just too strong. They're looking like Amazon out here with how much money they have. And as well, they didn't even really have to invest those ults. They had the Seekers there to put into it, but still the Overdrive online, the Cascade as well. And EFJ never got the chance to invest their ults. Their setup got ruined right off the bat. Pure having to teleport out. So we'll go for, once again, an op post towards the B site. But they'll be wary that this gun is out and online. And it's spotted out. And instantly the rotations are made.
When in doubt, avoid the op. Avoid the guy who's on a heater right now for the team. The one who's putting them on his back. Instead, you move over towards that A site. Let the swarm do the talking. Trailblazer goes out from Taylor. She's trying to clear out this space. Allow for the backfill to come through. There we go. It's that Reckoning that's out online. This should be a spike plant coming in any given moment, but the Steel Garden, this can make things a little scary. Thankfully for Swiss, they do have that overdrive available, but Overdose does one better! Make it a full... Oh, never mind. I spoke too soon. Overdose gets the ace. Finally comes through. And EFJ, they want to keep things scrappy.
Ridiculous from Overdose to get the ace. And it's so needed. It is vital that they got that round. And they didn't even have to invest all those ults. The Steel Garden did the job, and then Overdose just came in and cleaned house. And so only one round separating these two teams now. As we go into round number 20. That guiding light going a little awry. Knife to detain as well. So Overdose can reposition, but Pure, not sure if they're aware of the cross from throwing. This could get really tricky really fast, but Spike is still in shop, so nothing's going to be committed to quite just yet.
If you're Aquila, you want to look towards throwing here to see what they can find over towards B long.
Yeah, and
I need concealment.
puts the smoke down, but there's 3 players here. Angel just aware, thinking that they'll be in one of these positions, and takes down Katie.
No.
Pure, hello?
Shot? Oh no!
Could be brutal, and even invest the full smoke just to secure the escape. This round is turned on its head.
No, it's
30
this
seconds
is
left.
that's the worst thing that can happen for Eternal Focus. Hedge is in the back of the site, not ready for this site hit at all. Was looking to leave, rotate over to B. Swiss just gets to peek in. It's only a 1-for-1 trade. Thankfully, Pure is there to even the numbers. And with Zero getting one as well, things finally look doable, but there's still much more to do. Overdose is able to close things out, though, and keep this team on its head. When it's crunch time, when it's clutch time, it's Overdose time.
I detonate. You don't.
Stepping up and delivering round after round here. 14, 13, and 14 is their scoreline. I mean, they're getting the kills, they're getting the assist, doing it all on that KO roll.
It's a triple double.
So we really haven't seen all that much. I mean, since Tejo really got meta, so love to see the adjustment bring this pick back out. And it's tied 10-10. Both teams touching distance. The finish line of this map, so it'll be a flash play as well to try to take this A main area. Haunt invested, layered on top. But it's just these 2 players to try to keep these rotates here. As we see the spikes making its way towards B into the scopes of Pure. But can they right their wrongs? Yes, they can. Swiss taken down. And a 5v4 advantage for EFJ.
Oh yeah. EFJ. This is finally where you want to be. Pure's hitting their shots. Hold over towards B.
You don't have that neon to send into sight. Vi. Collat, I should say. So some damage done. Aquila, don't feel comfortable here at all. Hedge. Just poking and prodding. Spike eventually invested, but look at the ultimates. Still devout. Meraki needs to come up huge.
So much to work with, has a great piece of timing, but they need to go now. They're getting flanked on, so they can take that timing, find the gap. They open up with one onto Hedge, but immediately the trade is there from Overdose. Now a 4 versus 3. Spike just under halfway to detonation. They're trying to find something, but throwing goes down. And now, all of a sudden, EFJ, they're in a perfect spot. It's a perfect frag grenade placed at the perfect time. EFJ, they've done it. They've got the lead.
Time to jump.
I know it wasn't 5 in a row
The dimensional fabric
for
is
EFJ, but since that timeout, once again, the adjustment is phenomenal. Playing together as a team, even going as far as the little things, throwing the operator over towards 0, so then Pure can send it in with the rifle on that retake. Shampoo getting in there and cleaning stuff up for their team, making it look squeaky clean to come in to this final sprint as Swiss sprints forward.
They're looking to sprint in stride as 0 and Overdose just mow them down. It's series point, the way of eternal focus, Jade.
It's just over before it starts the rounds. I mean, you have Swiss sending it in, getting traded out, and then the round's over. That's it.
Yep.
You get 20 seconds, take it or leave it.
Not even.
And so now with 1 round left for EFJ to take the series down, those ultimates, they still haven't invested them. The game plan, the duels have been making it count.
Well, if the A-main rush didn't work last time, let's just do it again. All 5 towards A-main. Tucked in, judges in hand for some. Bulldogs for others.
And look at Pure, already pushed all the way through. Having
they
that
know.
deep line. The rotations, they're going to be there. It's going to be a full collapse onto anyone coming towards this A site.
You have to hope that the ults can work. Cosmic Divide, Seekers all finding positions. They open up onto 0, but Overdose with 2. Make it 3 is huge.
I cannot
But
use
there's
that.
at least a little bit of hope, a glimmer of a shot in the dark to bring
cannot use
things
that.
to round 24. It's going to be a 2-on-2 as Overdose goes down. A dimensional drift available. Hedge sits and waits. Steel Guard and goes out at the perfect time, and now it's all up to Pure. Has the op still, so has to work with the Sheriff to take the space. Slowly crawls up through main. Both of the players on the other side. Tucked into Art. Sava, close in the corner, looking to be traded immediately. There's the first, but the second goes the way of
my.
throwing.
Is that pulling them in?
It was close, but Aquila, they've done it all the way to round 24.
And throwing the top frag for Aquila. Once again coming through in the clutch moments. When it counts, keeping their team alive. And now 1 round of regulation left. And EFJ burning through that second timeout, that final timeout of regulation, making sure doesn't go unused, doesn't go unnoticed. And I'm sure this is really just, I mean, to calm the nerves. I felt like they were set up to win that round. They had the positioning right, just not able to carry it through. But for Aquila, they have some big potential ultimates of their own. I mean, mainly that Harbor ult. Other than that, it's scrappy. Look, half armor, Guardian for Sava.
The concern is, for the side of Aquila, that it's that weaponry, right? The key concern you were mentioning. On the other side of things, though, if they can get something going, because they didn't win that last round with perfect weaponry either.
Yeah.
So if they can get something going, if they can find an opening pick, if someone on the side of EFJ just misses a shot, whiffs a little bit, it could all come crumbling down around them, and we could be facing the 2-letter sentence of death.
So, a spread start for Aquila. Pure just dipping away, but EFJ, Shampoo calling for, once again, this same setup to early aggress and fight. Take that space over towards A. You get that info. Allow yourself some easier rotations, but Pure is set up to just play for this retake, confident that they can clear back this B site. We have 4 players for the defense stacked up towards Art and A. This was the perfect round to win. Don't know what else would be.
To be aware of any sort of pressure towards Art. Both of the controllers for the side of Aquila will be scaling here. Time sits and waits. All will stand still. A Nightfall goes through into A main just to clear out how many, and it's 3 towards this position. It buys a little more time, and with Katie finding the opening kill onto Meraki, that could be the death knell. Sure, 10 HP remaining for the Astra on the side of EFJ, but still, so much more to be done. Swisk dashes in, but to no avail. Vulnerable up. Overdose sits in pit, finds 2 of their own, and with Hedge coming in from the side, that means it's over. You have Eternal Focus Jade finding their first series win in Tenax season.
And what a great job they did here on Pearl, 13-11. And my God, that was close. I mean, back and forth all the way through, able to string 4 rounds there towards the end. I mean, after Aquila reached those double digits, I thought it might be over. But the game plan prevailed for EFJ. And like you said, they secure that first victory, So now sat 1-1 in the standings. Aquila, unfortunately, falling 0-2. But I mean, look at this. Katie coming out as the MVP, 24-14 as the Astra. And honestly, I feel like they were the silent killer here. It was a lot of big individual moments from people like Overdose, like Zero, like Pure. But Katie had the util to back it up and just was so consistent throughout the match as well. And just being really, really huge for their team.
Yeah. Astra mains rise up. That's what we love to see. That's why we love Pearl as a map. But like you mentioned, you have to talk about Overdose, right? Some of those plays that they made at the end of that map are the reason that this ends at Pearl, and we don't even have to think about Icebox. Right?
100%.
The fact that we saw the ace come out on the A site execute in, what was that, round 22? Beautifully done.
Yeah.
This is so long into this series, right? This is map 2. We're going in past 40 rounds, and that's when you can pull out the ace. That's when you're heating up. That's what you want to see coming out from a player like Overdose, and it's part of the reason that Eternal Focus has looked so good so far throughout these first 2 weeks. It's looked like a threat and like an underdog team that can punch their way to a ticket in the playoffs.
Yeah, we'll have to see how they continue to stack up as these weeks go. Speaking of that, we should get a little peek at the standings here for everyone at home. You can also be checking up on Liquipedia if need be throughout the week. So we'll have to see there. But yeah, I think a lot of these teams moving forward, sure, next week, week 3, you're going to really have to start to think towards those playoffs, right? These matches start to matter. Aquila really don't have any more wiggle room. They have to win out from here. And EFJ as well, going to be trying to fight for that spot. But, Angel, that was a 2-0 victory for EFJ. I want to give a quick thank you to everyone helping put on this production as well. I mean, Tenax Series 4 could never be done without our wonderful sponsor of Cracked Media. If you want to keep up to date on any industry updates and events just like this one, check out our sponsor, Cracked Media, and their podcast XP Share, where you can get all the latest esports updates and news. And also, if you want more streams from Tenax or content from Tenax, we have streams Monday and Wednesday for the CS team competing in ESEA. And I believe there's been some stuff on Marvel Rivals. I know that just finished up, but we'll have to just make sure to keep a lookout, as I feel like Tenax Studios is putting on a lot of cool stuff coming up in the future. But thank you, Ancient Andrew, for joining me. Excuse me. And yeah, it was great to cast with you once again.
Of course, it's great to be back. And once again, we have to mention it. Shout outs to Eternal Focus Jade for getting their first win here in Tenax Series Season 4. Thank you all so much, and shout outs to Multitudes behind the desk, who's getting you to show all the action, or see all the action. You can see our faces, hear our voices. Of course, besides Cracked Media, it wouldn't be possible without him behind the desk pressing all those buttons that we just don't want to press. So thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you back same time next week for week 3 of Tenax Series Season 4. My name is Ancient Angel. Here with me has been Zero Fight, and have a lovely night.